Hello again, everybody. This is Robert Brighton, and welcome back to another edition of All That Glitters. I hope by now you've seen the new theatrical trailer we released to promote Winter in the High Sierra. I think it's beautiful, and a lot of you have already told me that you think it is too, and thank you. That makes us all feel really great. The other thing people have noted, rightly, is that it has a beautiful musical score behind it, and they've asked me about that. And so I wanted to tell you about the story behind the music of Winter in the High Sierra. That is a piece called Snowbound, and I'll tell you about how it came to be. I've been an avid, passionate amateur guitarist for years, and while I am not in any way going to be going out on tour or anything like that, I do love playing. And, I aspire to be better every time I play. Okay, so, that's the way I am with my writing, so that's the way I am with playing. But anyway, I have had, my particular style of guitar playing is called fingerstyle. I like to play just with my fingers, not with a pick. I just like touching the strings. And it's a certain style of play that lends itself to solo guitar. Well, you may have heard of a gentleman by the name of Laurence Juber. He goes by LJ. Well, you might have heard of him in part because he was lead guitarist for Paul McCartney and Wings. You've certainly heard of Paul McCartney. And so LJ was his lead guitarist back in the day. And then, since then, he has had a very, very successful studio and recording career as a solo fingerstyle guitarist. So, of course, I follow what he does. He's phenomenal. He's a virtuoso, arguably the best or one of the best fingerstyle players in the world. If you don't know LJ's music, check it out. It's amazing. So with that, I've admired LJ for a long time for his music. And in fact, one of my favorite guitars is this one from the early 2000s, which is actually a Laurence Juber Signature Edition Martin guitar. So he had his own signature guitar for a number of years, more than 10 years, I think, with Martin, which is pretty amazing. But it's a beautiful guitar, and it's set up perfectly for fingerstyle because that's the way LJ plays. The other thing that LJ is famous for is he owns an 1893 Martin guitar, a true antique, and a true Gilded Age guitar. Well, I own a 1900 Martin guitar, and love the vintage instrument, love Martin guitars, and so when we were pulling together the trailer, kind of like on a lark, I reached out to LJ through his website, and to my surprise, I heard back from him right away. Most cordial response you could imagine. So I thought, wow, that's fantastic. We exchanged a couple of emails, and in fullness of time, I asked him. I told him about the project and the trailer, and that the book was set in 1899, and would he consider playing some appropriate piece of music over this trailer using his 1893 guitar, because I thought that's really cool. That guitar would have been entertaining people for 6 years before our heroine, Louisa McGregor, stepped aboard her ill-fated Sierra Pacific train. So I thought that would be really cool. Well, it was a long shot, I figure. He's a busy guy. And yet, he wrote back and he said, oh, I'd be delighted. Send me the trailer without any sound, and I'll look at it, and, I'll do something. Oh, that's fantastic. I was over the moon about that. And then, when he completed it, about a week later or so, he sent me an email and he said, and I went ahead and composed something new called Snowbound. So what you hear on this trailer is not just a beautiful piece of music that's in a music library somewhere. This is an original composition done for Winter in the High Sierra by probably the greatest fingerstyle guitarist playing today, Laurence Juber. So I'll tell you, my heartfelt thanks to LJ. His music just, when you hear it over the images, I think you're going to be, I hope you'll be as touched as I was. So thank you to him. And thank you all for your comments, because so many of you have watched the trailer and so many of you have said nice things about the way it was done and especially about the music. And now I hope you know a little bit about how that music came to be. So we'll be back very soon. And until then, thanks for joining.